All right, well, over here you've got all the used and new stuff for sale. A lot of people sort of forget that we get new releases a lot.
Matt Lynch works at Scarecrow Video on Roosevelt. He's been there since 2003.
The job at that point was mostly renting people movies and putting the movies back on the shelves when they come back. And so most of what you do all day is have a big stack of movies under your arm, and you have to learn where everything is, or else it's going to take you forever to put it all away. Some of my favorite little esoteric sections are right here. There's blaxploitation, vroom for car chase movies, bikers, rednecks, truckers.
I did my job.
The store's only been there 10 years longer than Matt.
It's like I've been staring at these stacks for 2 decades, and I can still find something I never saw before. It's pretty amazing.
There aren't too many video stores left in Seattle, or really anywhere these days.
I mean, you know, there are still video stores up and running that have been started, you know, in the meantime, but they're certainly not as big as we are.
But Scarecrow is special, and Matt is special too.
I know myself pretty well, and I like it here. This is where I belong.
Of course, I'm not bright about doing things.
One of his favorite movies was Wizard of Oz, and we really liked the character of the Scarecrow because he had lots of heart and no brains. And then it rhymed, Scarecrow Video. So we're like, okay, that's it, we're doing it.
Rebecca Soriano has spent a lot of time at Scarecrow Video. She's the co-founder of the place, along with George Latsios.
George is a really cool guy.
Well, I always wanted to have a video store. I always loved movies and such, so dream is to own your own movie theater, you know, and of course it's impossible these days. So the next best thing was a video store.
George was my husband, and he and I met in Pennsylvania. He wanted to have a video store, and it was going to be the best video store ever. He explained it to me, and I bought into it, and I said, okay. So I remember when we moved in, this was huge. We didn't have enough tapes to fill it. So the front part of the store was a place to drink coffee.
That's interesting.
George and Rebecca had a plan to buy a house and work their day jobs for a while until they had enough money saved to open a store. But George couldn't wait that long, so he quit his job. But somehow they found a way to rent a storefront. Before Roosevelt, the first Scarecrow Video was at 65th and Latona.
So it was tiny. It was, I don't remember how many square feet, but it wasn't very big. We had 400 movies, approximately, I'm not sure. George was in charge of kind of organizing the videos, and I made the posters. There's still one here, it makes me laugh. The signs, I mean. Anyway, some of these signs I made myself, which is amazing. They're still here.
Scarecrow Video was not an overnight success. Rebecca was teaching school and working in the store in the evenings, but the eclectic and growing collection was attracting fans and building a following, like musician Kurt Cobain and film critic Roger Ebert.
And one day I got a phone call from somebody, and they were like, Roger Ebert just helped me find a movie in your store. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, isn't it? It was so awesome.
By the early 90s, Scarecrow had outgrown its Latona home. It was time to find someplace bigger.
Just having one or a handful of great video stores. And not only in the same town, I want to, scatter them everywhere. Maybe one in Frisco, maybe one in Tokyo, one in London.
The new Scarecrow Video was busier than ever. Then, tragedy struck. George was diagnosed with an aggressive brain tumor. There were many tough years. George doubled down on working at Scarecrow for as long as his health allowed. Eventually, he went back to his native Greece. The couple divorced, amicably, says Rebecca, and they sold the store. And then, sadly, George passed away.
He was the most radical guy I ever knew.
We had various people who wanted it, and then we had 2 people who came in who were film buffs. They were also Microsoft employees, and they had the money to buy it. We lucked out, totally lucked out. It could have been a disaster.
Speaking of disasters, besides Scarecrow, have you seen many video stores around lately that still rent video tapes?
Rewind!
Now, we keep all the videotapes back here. They take up a lot of space. We built these custom roller shelves to keep them organized.
Or have you seen any video stores, period? Thanks to passionate staff and customers, Scarecrow Video has found a way to survive. Thrive, even.
You know, I think that Scarecrow is a really interesting jewel in Seattle's crown. I mean, it's the biggest video store on planet Earth. In this city that's become so sort of tech and convenience oriented, it sort of stands as a piece of that DIY spirit that Seattle's built on.
Part of that DIY spirit means radically shifting how Scarecrow does business In fact, they're technically no longer even considered a business.
On this live stream fundraiser, we're going to attempt to raise $30,000.
Well, we're a nonprofit. We went nonprofit in 2014, so that's a big part of it. That allows us to fundraise, some memberships, things like that. We started our rent by mail program as a pilot program just before COVID, and then when COVID struck, that kept us alive during the lockdown.
That's awesome, man.
Rebecca hasn't been officially part of Scarecrow for decades, but she still comes back every now and then, which is good because she knows some of the best stories about the place.
We used to tease that this whole wing right here was funded by Kurt Cobain and his late fees.
But you don't have to be a rock star or a famous film critic to appreciate and be welcomed by Scarecrow Video. There's something here for everyone.
To me right now it's overwhelming because I'm walking down the aisles and it's so much more than I remember, and it's like I could spend hours in here. I just don't even know where to start.
But I didn't scare you?
Scarecrows don't bring the crows, they chase them away.
Even though George is gone and the video rental business has disappeared from nearly everywhere else, people keep coming back to Scarecrow to celebrate George's legacy and to rent some pretty great movies too.
That's a wrap.
Watch City Stream Tuesday nights at 7 on the Seattle channel, or find us anytime online at seattle.gov.